all for coming today. I'm going to be talking about name, image, and likeness, and how athletes are finally being compensated for their name, image, and likeness. But what is name, image, and likeness? Name, image, and likeness is the athlete's ability to market themselves. This is in a variety of different ways. This could be an advertisement for a plumbing company. This could be an advertisement on the radio telling you to come to their games. They are compensated for this. In the past, they were not compensated for this. A ruling was made by the NCAA, according to multiple ESPN articles, last year in July 31st of 2021 to be specific. The reason this was made was after years of lawsuits, including one by Steve Bannon, which is the source of my visual aid here today. This video game is NCAA 14. This game featured many athletes, and none of the athletes were paid for their image or likeness. The NCAA worked around this by using a loophole with EA Sports, the company that made the game. They did this by not naming the players and just using their jersey number and their position. They did this to avoid paying an exorbitant amount of money on this game, because they had to pay EA Sports to make this game, produce this game, and distribute this game, which costs a significant amount of money. We're talking millions and millions of dollars. The NCAA does not want to pay athletes also millions and millions of dollars just to feature their names. As a result of this, athletes sued and more lawsuits continued, to the point that the NCAA, after 21 years of producing NCAA games, decided no more, and they stopped producing them. As a result of this July 31st, 2021 ruling by the NCAA, they've decided to work in cooperation with state governments. I got that from my sources, who I will actually go and show you here. Oh, shoot, I went too far. Sorry about that. Come on, can I back up there? Technical difficulties, I apologize, everyone. But the source is a writer by the name of Murphy for ESPN.com. He did multiple hours of research, and I guess my visual aid has decided to crap out on me, so that's fantastic. I will reattach my references, Professor. I apologize for this. But that being said, I'm off track now. But I will continue. Basically, these athletes are risking significant amounts of bodily harm, public slight, public backlash, in terms of just going and trying to get an education. A lot of these athletes are struggling to make the bills. Not every athlete is on a scholarship. Not every kid is Arch Manning, who has had a silver spoon in their mouth their entire life. A lot of these kids are from the projects. They are struggling, and they are pursuing a dream in hopes of one day hitting it big. And a lot of these athletes are working side jobs and on-campus jobs to try to basically just keep a roof over their heads. They also have to meet tough and stringent academic standards to even play the games. If they don't, they potentially lose their scholarship and their ability to play sports at the collegiate level. If they lose that, then they lose everything. The athlete deserves some sort of protection for risking bodily harm and potential mental health issues as a result of their participation in group sports. A lot of these athletes, and multiple sites, including one, the National Collegiate Sports Association, an organization, as they explained it, these athletes are not being paid by the schools still. There's not pay to play, and that is the biggest misconception about NIL. The schools are not paying your student athletes. Ohio State, USC, Alabama, they're not paying the athletes themselves. It's the third party guys. It's the restaurant in Columbus that can give CJ Stroud $100,000 to star in a commercial. $100,000 will more than cover his tuition. He doesn't need that money compared to the kid from the projects, but he's entitled to earn that money. He's putting just as much risk on the line as the kid from the projects. But a lot of these athletes, when they are coming up, they are not informed on name, image, and likeness. They're not aware that they can hire an agent to talk about them. This is meant to set these kids up for when they're out of college with a college education, hopefully, for some sort of financial future if they don't make it to a professional sports league. The reason they want to do this is try to, number one, try to keep kids in school. A four-year university wants as many graduates as possible. It makes the university look better. It makes them get more money through the cost of tuition over 4 years. And it behooves everybody if you get a degree. It makes you look more successful, it makes the university look more successful. It's a nice big cycle. As a result of this, the university in question, a lot of the time, will have a booster. A notable example of one would be Phil Knight at Oregon. Phil Knight is a billionaire who owns a very successful company we all know by the name of Nike. Nike has a very good relationship with the University of Oregon. Phil Knight, and this is the big scandal around name, image, and likeness, and ESPN articles have talked about it, and the NCAA has commissioners that have also gone on record and talked about it. They are worried about pay to play in the sense of it's not somebody representing the school as a school employee, but a booster who wants their favorite program to do well, to play for national titles, to be the best in their respective sport. And for a lot of these guys like Phil Knight, and they can pay these athletes and they have no problem doing it because they have the resources and money available to do so. But the unfortunate thing that the NCAA has to really do a good job enforcing its rules of is they cannot allow these big name boosters such as Phil Knight and select people such as Jimmy Haslam with the Tennessee Volunteer Program to dictate to every college football program. Because not every program has the ability to compete or the budget of a major Power 5 program. And a lot of athletic departments are funded by football. Football is their biggest revenue sport at every university across the country. It's the most popular. And as a result of this, they're going to pay the football athletes more than they're going to pay the women's basketball players, the softball players, the tennis players, the volleyball players. The NCAA needs to find and enforce rules that pay everybody equally and fairly to make sure that these rules are enforced for the betterment of not only college sports, but the product and the athletes themselves. That being said, unfortunately, my references page, like I said, decided to crap out on me. Again, thank you all for coming. I will link my sources in the presentation. Thank you.